Hey folks, thank you for tuning in here with me on the Nicholas WX YouTube channel here. We got severe weather coming up today, tomorrow, and even Friday, multi-day severe weather threat setting up. We got an enhanced risk today for the Kansas and Missouri regions. That would include Manhattan, Kansas, going into Topeka, Kansas, and then going into Kansas City, Kansas, and Missouri, Marshall, Missouri, and many more that is going to be issued in this, or that is in this enhanced risk, excuse me. We do also have Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri that is in a slight risk, and we go all the way down to Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, going into very small parts of Arkansas, excuse me, going into the Missouri, Illinois, and Iowa region. So this is going to be again, multi-day severe weather threat. We can expect large hail today, few tornadoes possible, and damaging wind gusts up to 65, 70 miles per hour with some occasional flooding as well. So today is going to be something that we're going to continue to watch for. Go ahead and take a look at our forecast here using the HRRR model. And starting around March 13th, of course, today, Wednesday, this is going to be the early morning hours, 14Z. We begin to move the slide here. We'll start to begin to see storms pop up around the Illinois area around later this afternoon going into the evening hours. Those storms may have the chance of producing hail, although they're out of the most severe risk. By later this afternoon, we'll have these cells start to develop in Missouri, where we do somewhat have that slight enhanced risk in effect. These are going to be scattered in nature and very isolated. If these can connect with that energy that's already in the atmosphere, we can have supercellular activity, and that would enhance our tornado risk by a lot. So what the HRRR is showing, we could see these scattered shells try to develop throughout the whole Kansas and Missouri region, and we got a large area that we need to continue to watch. We continue to move on. These cells will begin to start congealing into a line, pretty much moving mainly northeast, and that is when it begins to kind of move east, and this will become a more wind threat than anything by later this afternoon. But damaging large hail will be possible. Spin up tornadoes to stronger tornadoes in the EF2, EF3 range will be possible as well. So please do be weather aware today. Have ways to get warnings. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the NAM, the NAMist here. And the NAM is showing something a little bit more different. It's showing more of a linear threat that is going to occur throughout the Missouri region, going into Oklahoma. Maybe a few cells, some convection out in front of it a little bit. We'll have those cells pop up right behind that convection, and this will turn into a linear threat. That is what NAM is showing. Regardless of what happens, I still want you guys to be weather aware, because even if we have a linear threat more than a supercellular threat, we can still get winds up to 75 miles per hour in access with this. But we got two different setups that we could see today. Supercellular, then linear, or just linear and staying linear the whole way. So, again, I just want you guys to be paying attention to the weather. This is what our soundings look like. We got a lot of energy in CAPE that we'll be working with here. This is the SKU-T model, or mainly the SKU-T model here. This is what we're looking at. This is the potential hazard type is showing tornado. What I'm mainly paying attention here is what we got here. When you see that almost like a cinnamon bun type circle around it, that shows a lot of shear is going to be enhanced in the atmosphere, and that will give us a lot of rotation, and with that we could see tornadoes like that. And we do got that atmosphere. We almost got a loaded gun type look to this. It is interesting to look. Not exactly a loaded gun, but we got the atmosphere to support this type of severe weather. Here's another look at it. You can see just a very, very, very interesting setup today going into tomorrow as well. Take a look at our temperatures. Many of us will be in the mid 70s and maybe the lower 80s today throughout the Missouri region and the Kansas region, going into Oklahoma, Arkansas, and even Illinois. So it's going to be very, very warm, and we're going to have a lot of energy with that. Here's all that moisture just going into this area, and it's going to stay consistent too, which is even more concerning. All that moisture just begins to rise into this region, and it's just going to stay consistent most of the way. Again, these are using the HRRR models here. And here's our CAPE. We can expect some areas to have about 3,000 CAPE in the region to 2,000. That's very supportive for some energy to be out there for the storms to just explode and be an issue. And here's our wind shear. Matter of fact, I'm going to wait on our wind shear real quick. We are going to take a look at our other models here for Thursday before I take a look at our wind shear. And bear with me here as I try to share this part. We're going to go ahead and switch it over to the Day 2 outlook here, where we do have another enhanced risk stretching from Oklahoma to Arkansas to even Missouri region. So that is something that we're going to continue to watch for as well. And I'm really concerned for this region at the most part throughout the day. So bear with me as I'm trying to get some things ready to kind of show you guys what we're going to see and expect throughout the day tomorrow as I try to get it all fixed up here. So bear with me. Alright folks, I do apologize about that. I had some issues with some of the tech, but we got that resolved. Now again, we do have an enhanced risk with the Oklahoma region going into Arkansas and Missouri. Again, this will also bring the chance of seeing very large hail and maybe a little bit higher chance of seeing tornadoes tomorrow than we do today. But that doesn't mean anything. We're going to see tornadoes today and tomorrow. I can tell you that for sure, just depending on what we'll see here. But we do have a slight risk stretching all the way back up to Iowa, going into Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and then Texas and Louisiana. Marginal risk stretches for the rest of the region here. This is an area that, again, we're going to have to watch for the possibility of seeing those larger hail, tornadoes, and gusty winds up to 65, 70 miles per hour as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at our models here. Take a look at the HRRR models. Going into Thursday, which is tomorrow, we could see clear, mostly just quiet weather until the later afternoon and on Thursday. We'll have an ignition towards the Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri border here. Again, those cells will be very isolated in nature or scattered in nature. If those cells can connect with the energy that's available out there, these will have possible larger hail and tornadoes as well. And as these develop, they'll cause an issue for a lot of the area. Then we'll have a back half of possibly a linear system here. This would probably be the cold front that will be moving through as well. We'll have a linear threat start to begin here. This is where we could also be dealing with some supercellular activity here through the line. And down here, we still got those scattered in nature storms. These storms here congeal into a line and become an issue for the Illinois, Missouri, going into Kentucky and Tennessee area. As these continue to go through, they'll congeal into a line, and as well as these, it will become a line and give the rest of the region heavy rain and some hail down here towards the Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama region. And that is where we do have a marginal risk Friday, and that's where we're going to be dealing with the rest of the severe weather. We could have a back half fill there, which can still bring some threats for some stronger storms. Taking a look at the NAM. NAM is actually agreeing a little bit more better, although it is making it more linear at that. So NAM is saying linear, and HRRR is saying cellular and then linear on both systems. But you can see how fast they just explode with energy, and they're just going to move through the region and cause just the amount of heavy rain and severe weather. So again, please do have ways to get warnings. Take a look at the temperatures. Many of us will be in the 70s Thursday, into the 60s and 70s. And it's going to be warm. We're going to have all that convective available energy, and it's going to be out there. Here's taking a look at our soundings real quick, and not looking very good at all. We're going to have still almost the same thing that we have today. We're going to have a lot of available energy here that's going to be out in front of this, and it's even trying to predict or kind of show PDS tornado type soundings. So PDS is particularly dangerous situation. Not to scare anybody, this is just a prediction within the soundings, but this is something that we really need to watch for, in my opinion, within that. And just taking a look at all the dew point temps and just the dew points. We'll have dew points in the 60s in the Texas and Oklahoma region. As the system begins to move closer by, it's going to be, in the mid 60s out here. We're going to have a lot of energy out there, and that is again going to bring forth the severe weather. We're going to have Cape at times to be at 3,000. Going to be a little bit limited at some points as well. 900 Cape to 2,000 Cape. So we're going to have that, again, energy. Take a look at our shear. We still have this dying trough that will kind of bring us that energy. It's going to eject its energy out towards the east, and that is what's going to pretty much give us our shear that we're going to have out there towards Thursday. And we're going to have a lot of spin in the atmosphere due to this shear as well. So something I'm keeping my eyes on for sure. We'll have some shear today as well, just not a lot towards the area. I see Oklahoma having more shear tomorrow, kind of in the risk than anything. And this system will kind of just spin around for a little bit and stick with us for a while. It does look like here soon we'll have another system that will just drag it away with it as the jet stream kind of comes back up and takes it away. We could see something with that. We might not. We'll just see what we'll see. But that will be in the next upcoming weather update. Let's go ahead and take a look one more time at our other risk that we have. And I'm going to go ahead and pull it up real quick, and we'll see what we see. We got a marginal risk stretching from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, all the way to Alabama, and that will cover these areas. This could get upgraded to a slight risk depending on the severe weather type that we'll see. They're just mainly watching for some cellular and linear threats down here towards the south. So any given point in this area is where we'll continue to watch for some scattered thunderstorms within that, dealing with gusty winds and smaller hail than what we're dealing with the next 2 days. But multi-day severe threat is setting up here. Stay tuned with us here. We will be going live if anything does occur. This afternoon we might actually plan to go live to cover the severe weather threat that's out there in the Missouri and Kansas regions. So stay tuned with us here at the Nicholas WX YouTube channel here, and we'll help you stay safe. Be weather aware, stay safe, and thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday afternoon.